Hello again, Year 10. So this is the final section of our resources, managing natural resources topic. And now we're looking at sustainable food production and how can we increase the amount of food produced in the future, but in a sustainable way. And if you remember, the word sustainable means producing enough of something for us now without compromising the ability of future generations. So that means producing enough food for the population on the world now without damaging soils and damaging the environment so much that future generations cannot have their food. So I'm going to be looking at the potential for sustainable food supply. So we've obviously seen that we can increase food in various ways, but they're not always sustainable. So we're going to be looking at 8 strategies of producing sustainable food, describing and explaining those strategies and why they are sustainable, and then looking at a specific example. So the first thing I want you to do is have a go at the quiz. So on this slide, there are some quiz questions, and I want you just to have a go at answering them, true or false. Put that down, and then on the following slide, which I'll go through quite quickly now, there are the answers, which you can check your own knowledge. Okay, so you might be quite surprised with some of the outcomes. Okay. So what I want you to think about, once you've got the results from that quiz, what do you think the quiz tells us about our global food supply? Okay, so that's what you need to think. You don't need to write anything necessarily, but think about what do the results and think of how many you got right and wrong. What does that tell us about our food supply? And then next thing, there is a video to watch on that slide. Now we can see here, this is more just about information. So this gives us some background about the damage and the impacts that our current food sourcing is doing to the planet. So that's environmental, but also social impacts as well. So have a look through that. And then I want you to watch this YouTube clip, thinking about how we can make it a more sustainable food system, one where we do not damage the environment as much as we're doing now. So first piece of work then is what I'd like you to do is I want you to create a mind map or a table again, identifying the 8 different strategies and writing a short paragraph describing each one. Okay, so description of those strategies and looking at what each one is and how it works. And then what would be ideal is actually also including a bit of information about what makes this sustainable. Why is this more sustainable than the alternatives? So if we look at this first example, we've got organic farming. So organic farming is growing crops or rearing livestock without the use of pesticides and herbicides and chemicals. So we would obviously recognize that that's less damaging to the environment, but often it means the prices are higher, which can put people off. So next time you're able to go to the supermarket, if that ever happens again, have a look out at sort of a cost of a standard carrot and then the organic carrot sat next door. Which one is more expensive? Okay, so that can sometimes put people off. So on the next few slides, you'll see that there's the different strategies. So permaculture, urban farming, fish from sustainable sources, meat from sustainable sources, seasonal food, local food, and recycling and actually reducing food loss and waste. Okay, so that might mean throwing away less or doing what Miss Waters does and going through bins and looking for wasted food, just that a lot. So first thing is to all 8 of those things, I want you to say what they are and how they work and what makes them sustainable. And then we go on to look at an example of somewhere that's increasing sustainable food supplies, and we're looking at Makueni in Kenya. Okay, so that's in eastern Kenya, just southeast of Nairobi, population of 885,000, and most people in that county, in that area, live in small, isolated rural communities with a very low amount of rainfall. So they grow these crops, maize, beans. Now, the low and unreliable rainfall means that these crops fail often. So obviously the solution is to find a way of making the crops more reliable, but doing so in a sustainable way. So a bit of information about what the McWaney Food and Water Security Programme is. So I want you to read that. And then there are 3 questions that I want you to answer based on the information there. So describing what it is, explaining how it works, and suggesting why this might be a good way for low-income countries to try and improve their food security. Now, if you're using the textbook or the ebook to go along with this, then it's pages 272 through to 275 that will be relevant. Again, it's always useful to use that to provide extra notes and to help with your answers. And then finally, I want you to have a go at an exam question. It's a 6-marker, because in this section, in the resources section, there will not be a 9-mark question in the exam. Okay, the biggest question you would have to answer will be a 6-marker. So the question is asking, evaluate how far it is possible to increase food supply sustainably. Okay, so first thing is to bug the question. So box the command word, which is evaluate, weigh up, underline the key information, and then glance back as you're answering it. And you need 2 P paragraphs because it's a 6-mark question. Give details about 2 or 3 strategies that you've looked at. So of the 8, choose 2 or 3. And then evaluate, think about the pros and cons of each one, about how sustainable they are. And then finally, short sentence, just making a judgment, can food be supplied sustainably? So you might be talking about the fact that you can supply food, but will it be enough for the large population of the world? So you say, yes, we can supply it, but maybe it won't produce enough food. That might be a sort of concluding statement. Okay, so this is our last topic for resources. So we've gone through that. What we'll do in our next homework is we'll do some review work. We'll use Seneca, and we'll just make sure that we've covered everything really well in this topic. And as before, make sure you send me the work by email, and if you've got any questions, email me, and all those details will be on class charts. All right, guys, so after this, obviously it's half term, so have a great half term. Hopefully you'll be able to get out and about a bit more in the sun, and I'm very likely to be seeing you before the summer, so look forward to that, and we'll be able to catch up at some point in some format then. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.